Hi, in this video I'm going to show how I display my photographs, which I print on canvas and then stretch on frames and mount on walls, sort of like big paintings. Of course, you can order canvases in certain size, stretched photographs on canvas, but here we're going to talk about how you can do it yourself. What you see here is a 30 by 40 print of a sunset, and in this video you'll see me make this particular print. You know, you can make many different sizes. This one is 30 by 40. I do a lot of 2 foot by 3 foot ones, and I've even done some very large ones. This is a 2 foot by 8 foot print. Here's a smaller 20 by 30 print of my family. As I said, typically what I do is I order prints like this, and you know, I work on them carefully. I try to make sure when I shoot my shots that not only do I have what I want facing the user, but there's some extra space around the shot for, you know, the sides or the top or the bottom of the print, since the canvas typically exposes all of those sides. Then I'll take this canvas and I'll stretch it on a frame. So I typically buy these frames for art students where they're pre-stretched with nothing on the front for people to paint on. But then what I'll do is I'll remove the canvas and put my canvas on top of it. When I do that, you wind up with something like this. In fact, what we'll wind up doing is putting the photograph on the front, and I'll wind up backing the whole thing with the original canvas. If you do something like that, you wind up with a print like this on front, and there it is, the original canvas on the back. The main tool that you use is the staple gun, which you use to staple the canvas onto the frame. You can also use a stretcher, a canvas stretcher, to hold the canvas so you can get it nice and tight and then staple it in. You'll see me doing this in a minute. You're going to also need a scissor to cut the canvas when you're finishing up the various corners. But really that's about it. There's not much else you might need. You might need a few tools to remove that canvas from the pre-stretched frame if that's the route you go, but that's about it. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is take the canvas off this pre-stretched canvas frame so that we can use the frame for stretching our photograph onto. And later we'll actually use the canvas just to cover up the back. So here we have our canvas and the frame we're going to mount it on. And you can see that I've set it up so that I have about 2 inches of canvas, extra canvas around, you know, to go around the side, and a 1/2 inch slop on the back. Ideally, you frame your shot very wide so you have extra image available for that. We're now going to work on getting the first staple, which is the most important staple, into the canvas. Now first we take our frame, and there's a back and a front. The back is pretty flat, and the front should have a curved section right along the edges, all the edges. What I've done is I've laid out my canvas on top of my frame, and I've tried to position it so that it's in the right spot, meaning, you know, the edges along the top, bottom, left, and right are meeting the end of the wooden frame the way I want to, more or less, although it's not stretched out now, more or less the way I want it in the finished product. I'm going to try and put in the first staple. I know I've put a 1/2 inch of canvas extra in the back, so I'm looking for about a 1/2 inch overlap. And then I'm going to put my first staple dead center top of the canvas. In fact, I'll put a couple in. So the second staple is a little trickier than the first, and probably, you know, the hardest one of the bunch, but not that bad. So more or less, we've gotten the top stapled. We want to simply pick up the canvas and turn it upside down. And we're going to check as best as we can to make sure it's still in position. So I check, I hand tighten the top, and I'll check to make sure the edges are where I more or less want them, although I'm going to be stretching this. And then I do the same with the sides. And I see this side is a little short. But acceptable. So I'm not going to worry about it. If you have tight edges about how you want to crop it, you might want to be a little more careful. And then what I'm going to do, and I'll show a little more detail on this later, is I use this canvas stretcher tool to tighten the canvas. And for sure we're going to see some wrinkles in the canvas, and that's one of the lessons learned really about doing all this stretching, is you're going to see wrinkles all the way until the end, and then hopefully at the end, at your last staple, the last wrinkle goes away. So I'm going to stretch this canvas a little bit. Looks a little wrinkly, but looks good. Double check the sides. Okay. I'm going to hold it down by hand and then put my second staple in. So at this point, the strategy is, now that we have these staples at the bottom, some at the top, it's inverted. We're going to put some on each side, so we're effectively moving out from the centers of the top and bottom, and the left and right, and toward the corners. And at each point we're stretching it, and we're making sure that, you know, the picture's in the right spot. So say we want to put our next staple in over here. Yeah, I place them, I don't know, a couple inches apart. None of this stuff is hypercritical, but I'm going to stretch this here. I put this here, you notice there's something on the bottom that lets me stretch it. It goes against the wood and pulls. So I'll do that. I'll pull. Then I hold it with my thumb, get my staple gun, and staple. It's that simple. As long as I'm at it, I'll do one to the other side of the center on this. This is actually the bottom of the canvas. So same story, hold it tight, hold it with my thumb, and staple it in place. Then, since I did that, I'll do the same for this side. I'm going to do the tops and bottoms now, or the left and right sides, I should say. Now we'll just double check the front of the canvas, and then I just go around the whole thing. Looks fine. So I've taken staples till about 2 inches from each corner, and I've left the last couple inches to the corner staple free, and now the job is finishing it up. And what I tend to do is I tend to cut away a lot of this canvas and then do sort of a hospital corner. So I'm going to cut the canvas so that I have, let's say, a 45-degree angle coming off here, and all this stuff will get removed. So here you go. Just going to cut this something like this. Obviously, you cut it conservatively and then you make changes later. So here I go. I'll do my last stretching over here. Hold it down and put a staple or two in. And then, well, I still have more than I need on the other side, so I'll cut that. It'll probably wind up something like that. Again, I'm just trying to cut away material so that I have, I'm able to pull it tight and staple it into place. I'm pretty happy with this. So I just staple it into place. And that corner is done. And we're just going to repeat that procedure for all 4 corners. So there we have it. I've stretched the canvas. I've got the corners and the front, and it's almost complete. I mean, this could be hung as it is. Looks good. There's no wrinkles at all in it, and it's stapled in well.